Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Crown Zenith, make sure you check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. For today's video, we are looking at the Regi deck. It's definitely one that divides opinion, probably one of the lesser consistent decks in the format, but still is a really powerful one prize deck that has attacking threats into all sorts of the decks in the format, and ultimately does have some of the best energy acceleration from the discard pile that we've ever seen. So there are still some big selling points for playing Regis right now. So let's jump into the deck. The Ancient Wisdom is really what makes the whole deck tick, which means we need to get one of each Regi into play, which fills all 6 of our bench spaces in order to gain access to this energy recursion. We're able to get 3 energy from the discard pile and put them onto one of our Pokemon. So we play all sorts of energy in here, Aurora being one of the key ones, so we can use each Regi for the right situation, which is really helpful. And the Gigas actually comes in handy himself with the Gigaton Break, doing 300 damage if we're hitting into a VMAX Pokemon. So we're just a Choice Belt away from being able to 1-hit KO Mew VMAX, and also flying Pikachu VMAX if we're able to do some Rope and Serena shenanigans. So these are a couple really big Pokemon to be hitting right now in the meta game. Let's have a look at some of the other Regis. They all play their part. They're not just for sitting on the bench. They also can come in and attack. The Regieleki, we are playing a 2-1 split of, because they both come in handy for different reasons. The Terra Spark is a really handy attack here. Lightning type coverage is pretty helpful in the format against Lugia and against Palkia V-Star. To name a few. Even can be helpful into flying Pikachu again if we are able to work a way to actually attack through a Max Balloon. So really handy card. It also does 2 40 damage snipes to the bench, so that can also help set up all sorts of damage. You know how I just mentioned Choice Belt is required on Gigas. Well, not if you've pre-hit a Mew for like 40 or whatever. That can be a great way to help map out your prize cards. So the Terra Spark, definitely handy. And again, belting up this means it's a threat into 1-hit KOing things like Lugia, which is really nice, and also cashing in on lower hit point things if there's not a Manaphy established. But we are also playing the Sonar Eleki, allowing us to get a trainer from our discard pile directly back into our hand. Really, really helpful, and lets us play some cheeky one-offs in the deck that we can then recycle in a situation where it's mandatory for us to get through weird walls. There's actually a number of decks right now which, in theory, have a really bad matchup to Regis, but then they play like a package of cards like Ice Cube, or notably flying Pikachu with a big Parasol as their means of being like, oh, I guess I checkmate Regis now. Well, that's where the Sonar comes in. We're playing cards like Escape Rope and Yell Horn to mean that lock that a block face can put on us, or a Max Balloon lock where they just keep announcing that turn by turn, even if they have no other Pokemon in play. We can still find a way around that, so that's really important. This also has 130 hit points, which is annoying for Lost Box in comparison to the other Eleki, so it can be a vital one to recover at times. And we also have the targeted bolt option, which just is a straight 120 damage snipe to the bench. Again, if there's no Manaphy around, this can be pretty handy for finishing off things that retreated to the bench. So yeah. Then we have Regidrago, definitely also a helpful one here. The Dragon's Horde allows us to draw until we have 4 cards in hand if this is in the active position. Really handy. We are playing Scoop Up Net, so you don't have to use Giant Fangs the turns you're using Dragon's Horde, but it can be a way that we just see more cards at the opening stages. This deck has no other engine Pokemon, of course, because you need your board to all be Regis, so this is certainly a helpful one. And the the Giant Fangs is pretty good into one prize matchups as well. The other 3 Regis all share the Regigate attack, which isn't too shabby, especially if you've gone second and you're just trying to establish that board state of 6 different Regis. So that's always a nice thing to bear in mind. This rock in particular has good type coverage into Arceus and also Vikavolt. Pretty handy there. We have the Registeel, probably the least effective attacker. Heavy Slam every now and then can come in handy at dealing with like a Mew V, for example. But outside of that, not too many great situations. The Regice also is pretty handy though. The Blizzard Bind does 100 and prevents a V from attacking us during your opponent's next turn. This can force all sorts of wacky things from them, you know, lots of in and out pivot options, or just paying retreat out of their attacker at times. And if there's not a Parasol established on certain Pokemon like Flying Pikachu, you can make life very awkward for them. So definitely a decent option there. Onto the items then. So like I said, because we are playing Sonar, We play one copy of Rope. This allows us to get around a Pikachu if there are other Pokemon on the board by going Rope Serena, bring it back into the active position and try and KO it with Gigas or with things like Belted if we've pre-Terra Sparked it, stuff like that. Can be really handy. It's also good for Ice Cube if it's not a lone board state, you can try and make rope plays happen. But because there are so many decks trying to make that lone board state of the wall that beats you, we're also adding in Yell Horn again, so we just confuse both active Pokemon to try and force them into breaking their lock in some way, shape or form, which is pretty handy for us. So yeah, the one copy confusion is a real problem for these decks that want to continually announce an attack against you, so obviously very solid there. Then we're playing decent ball search, the Ultras and the Quick Balls. We're playing some Trekking Shoes because we like getting our energy in the discard pile so that we can wisdom them back into play. The nets are really handy for healing against Lost Box, but also so we can jump in and out of Dragon's Horde when need be. Whoops. And can also help us fix some weird board states if we've been hit with like Echoing Horn or something like that. Hisuian, because we have so thin Pokemon lines and we need all of these to be in play. Rods recycle our Mons. For stadiums, I'm playing 3 copies of Path to slow down some Lugias, slow down some Mews. It means that we can damage a Duraludon, which is obviously very important. And also having just a high stadium count in general is really helpful because there is some Temple of Sinnoh going around right now. We're getting caught in that crossfire of things like Goodra being in the game. So hoping that Paths and definitely Yell Horn is helpful against Goodra as well to try and break a Rolling Iron lock. The Pokestop is just a one-off in here because I think it's a little extra consistency card compared to just the 4th path to the peak. There's definitely upside to just jamming an early path against a lot of decks, so I just want one Pokestop in here for now. Serena really handy for gusting, but also allows us to have more discard synergy in the deck, which is very handy, which is also why we have that very high research count, because we want to cycle and get rid of our energies as we go. Gift energies really help us continue to draw throughout the game. Auroras are really the vital piece of the puzzle, not just for allowing us to attack with all our guys, but again, adds to the discard synergy of the deck. Captures get more dudes into play, speeds draw more cards, and the twins are really vital for the Gigas in particular, but also helping us retreat around the board as well with the help of Ancient Wisdom. So yeah, that is the Regi deck. Definitely one that divides opinion, but let's see if we can get some good games in with Regis today. It's not something that I myself would take to a tournament, but doesn't feel like Destiny is necessarily in your hands as a player, but there are still massive upsides to playing a deck like this. The meta is a little bit volatile with some tech cards roaming around, but it's that weird situation where some people are banking on the fact that their tech cards beat Regis, and if you're teching for the techs, then that auto loss turns into not quite an auto win, but definitely gives you a decent shot of winning the game as we're up against a superior deck. Alright. We're at that stage in the format where everyone is bored and just wants to play different stuff. I see. I don't think Superior is going to give us too much trouble. They can be a healing deck, which is a bit annoying, and we actually don't obviously hit for fire weakness, which is slightly scary. But we can try and make things a little bit awkward for them. And see how it goes. I'm really happy to see a Pokestop in our opening hand. You can see why I'm liking this one of. It could give us reach towards some ball search, or even just extra discard synergy here towards some more energy cards, because otherwise our turn is going to be very slow. As our opponent is certainly taking their time with what they want to do here. But yeah, Regi's had a fair amount of results in the Tempest format. Never seems to be in huge numbers. It's normally like the 5th or 6th most popular deck at tournaments, but it does find a way now and then. I'm going to fire off a Pokestop here. And what a dream scenario. 2 energy in the bin and an Ultra Ball. That is exactly what we're all about here. Busted Pokestop. We're going to get rid of Path, I think. And I think I like getting rid of Rope here as well. I know it's insta-playable and it means that I'm not getting any Drago value this turn, but it means I could get a Speed Lightning draw in here. Typically you want to go for the Regis that you have the least of, if that makes sense, in the deck, because you can naturally just draw into the other ones a small percentage of the time more than the others. But in this case, because I had draw, I wanted to cash in on that. And we also have the energy to actually start firing off Terra Sparks next turn, already banked in the discard pile, so the mission then just becomes find the gang, essentially. The opponent gets a pretty rough Pokestop. Getting rid of a Serperior and a couple energy. That's nice for us. They are going to start establishing their dude, though. Looks like their stadium of choice is Turfield, which isn't too scary for us. But they do have a research here. I definitely like the idea of trying to Terra Spark and damage lots of things at once. Right, let's path. As much as I like research, I'm kind of interested in a Marnie play here. I'm going to hoard for a couple cards and see what's what. If there's good discard synergy, I'll still go for the research. Heavy Ball gets us Gigas. But honestly, slowing the opponent down sounds pretty reasonable here. We actually high roll massively. If I was to hit another Aurora or a net, I could attack here. So no, we don't need that guy. We don't need the Yell Horn. But even just getting the gang out and gifting the active sounds pretty promising. So here's the gang. We're going to Wisdom. We're definitely putting a gift on. I guess it's just gift Aurora. Because I can always retreat out of this guy. And we'll just pass. Don't think the 20 from Static Shock is worthwhile. Let's see how the Marnie's treated them first of all. I'm expecting Serperior to be slightly less consistent than most decks, but I'm also probably expecting some Cheryl shenanigans, because they play... Well, their main attack lets you move energy around, so they can make some heal plays. Yeah, there goes a Cheryl straight away. But thanks to Path, I don't think they're doing much this turn. I think they are at a 0-card hand, actually. So that's good. Ooh, Bidoof. Alright, so they're giving themselves top decks for Bibarel. I see, I see. Again, I think I'm going to start with the Horde here. Let's retreat. Definitely like attacking with Terra Spark. Makes the most sense. Like gifting up. I think I like attaching to Gigas. Actually, I like attaching to Drago because then it can become an easy pivot for me next turn. Now the question is, do I want to... So obviously I can't snipe this. Do I want to try and hit this early? They can Starwinder for a KO, I suppose, and that would give them card draw. So I'm thinking of gusting this up to try and get up my hits in. And then we're going to Terra Spark, hitting the only 2 targets that I'm allowed to hit, and hope that their bad hand remains bad. Now their V-Stars do have free retreat, so they could find a few plays here. Let's see what they get off the top. You can tell that my ELO has gone down as I've been playing some Regis recently. You may have noticed that it said 0 games played when I clicked on the Regi deck, but in reality, I played more and I had to delete the deck because I didn't want to show how bad the win rate was with Regis. I didn't want to give you bad picture of it, but hey ho. Definitely like attaching Aurora. That sounds very good to me. Because now we have those banked in the discard pile. And we'll just reload our speeds. And we'll take our knockouts. So they can respond KO here with their V-Star power. And this Cricketop could evolve up and make everything a little bit larger. But I think it's going well so far for us. Just another Bidoof. That's very bad. I wonder if they will V-Star power for tempo here. Yeah, they are going to. It's the only one they can knock out with the power, so it kind of makes sense. And they're going to run away. So I can actually KO this with Registeel, which is hilarious. Can I draw enough cards to actually use Regidrago here? I could try and Sonar this turn. Sonar back Serena. To make sure I'm hitting this. Kind of funny. Let's see if I can randomly draw into a Serena. No, and that also hurts us in getting low enough for Dragon's Horde, unfortunately. So I think I will just Sonar this turn. Actually, Targeted Bolt is also pretty just good, right? Maybe just Targeted Bolt is the play. Keep this Cricketop active. Seems quite annoying. I'm going to pop that down. Don't need to play anything else. We'll just Bolt. Looks like Marnie has definitely done its thing. Marnie Path is still Marnie Path, everyone. Some things never change. Let's see if they have access to Ultra Ball or anything here. Cheryl, that's kind of fine. I'm just gonna hit it again, right? Don't see a reason to not. Just keep hitting it. They have no energy in play. This is thrilling and engaging gameplay. I'll hear nothing else on the matter. 3 terrible top decks. It locks up our research for sure. Let's keep doing it. Even if I just run them out of Cheryls, right, that's even fine for me, because then we'll just win a prize race, slowly. Alright, yeah, I figured if the hand is nothing, it's probably just Cheryls. You're not going to believe this play, actually. I'm thinking of something crazy here. Stick with me. I'm going to go for a Targeted Bolt. Any top decks towards Serena would be insanely good, right? Because then I can just boot this guy with our Heavy Slam. Can't believe I slagged it off earlier saying it was one of the weakest attackers. I forgot the superior matchup. I guess because Serena is a decent top deck, I probably should have been putting a Twin Energy onto my active at the same time here. Alright, they finally get Big Barrel. Let's go. They're off. They're up and at it. Alright. It's all fine. Okay, not even a turn attachment, so... Still looking pretty good for us. In the name of maybe hitting a Serena at some point, I'm going to do this. They didn't have an energy drop, so I'm just going to take out the big barrel. They didn't energy drop or supporter, so... Alright. And we're back to our same old tricks. Trying to boop this Superior very slowly. There it is, number 4. And the energy drop. What a busted play. This is a ridiculous amount of value trying to trap this Cricketot. It's been so crazy. Maybe one of these turns I should have just sonared back a Serena, huh? Oh my goodness, look at the value! This is fine, right? The heal still puts it in range for me to heavy slam KO. I still didn't draw a Serena, that's crazy, actually. This is 140 hit points, it's massive. Freaking massive, bro. We're also currently blocking it with the path. Oh dear. This game is great, isn't it? The rope. Sure. Looks like Cricketot made it out of there in the end. I'm happy for him. Please don't play that down, that fish. Okay. Let's get rid of Regirock. There is one Serena in the deck. But I don't even need Serena now. What am I talking about? I can just knock this guy out. Okay. Let's just do that. Shall we? With our heavy boy over here. Take a card. Do this. I think I prefer the capture on the Drago rather than capturing out a Drago. Let's just slam. I can sense a concession, but I thought they'd have conceded many turns ago, so who knows. Oh, hold on. Hold up. They're back in the game. I can't wait for the next game. Oh, now they concede. My goodness. What on earth made them think they could keep playing that game? Oh well. That's a huge win for Regis. And we're flying up the ELO. Regis has been tanking it all day. And we're on the come up. We might face a real deck in a minute. You never know. Let's find out. Right, we have a ton of ball search, which is great. I'm going second. Definitely like starting the Regieleki, that sounds solid. I can net into a Drago as well early. The one thing we're just lacking is energies. Oh, it's the mirror. Well, this really is a video, isn't it? We're in for a video. Strap yourselves in. They played other Drago. Interesting. Man, okay. Let's do this. Let's grab a Dragon Drago. Let's make some dudes. Draw a couple cards, hoping for energy cards. I'll discard this against my better judgment. Grab this. I'm actually prized Hisuian, so it's definitely always this card. And let's go hunting for some energy cards. That's pretty good. I really want to attach this capture, but it's probably definitely wrong. Let's start by trekking a bit. That seems very good. It opens up finding another speed lightning or just one Aurora for me to get the combo now. That guy can go. Not very good. Right, so I attach speed lightning here for sure, right? Because I can Ultra Ball away any energy that I draw. See? I like getting rid of Regis here, I think. Keep the capture open. So I can get an Regieleki for next turn and just net into it. No, I'm spending the net now, what am I saying? But hey, we get the first attack in, which is something. It's not the first knockout, but it's something. As they say. A small argument there for me to play the Ordinary Rod just in case I get Marnied. We are 2 nets down. Definitely something to bear in mind. I actually had to grab another Drago here. Actually do Marnios. See how close they can get. Only one Aurora in the discard so far. That's a steal. Second Aurora is very solid, but just a pass. Okay. I think I just Serena away, Serena here. Attach Gift over here. Keep my options open. Rope is not as disgusting as I thought it was going to be. I definitely like getting rid of Aurora energy. proactively here. Don't think I even take anything because it blocks my research. Let's just do this. We'll Terra Spark. Because they want to net the Drago, I'll damage the other things. It's a very solid prize. And we are a knockout ahead, which is always pretty good. Typically, outside of Terra Spark totting up, it's normally just your bog standard take the first prize. They have the right energy in the discard now at least, so it's just about finding a couple more Regis. Wouldn't be surprised if they got it this turn. Getting Rod is pretty good for me. Sending to recycle these Elekis. Let's see. Alright. Trying to reset our Terra Spark pressure. Ooh, the triple Rod. You hate to see that. Well, alright then. I'm going to play a Rod again in case I get Marnied. But because of this, we're gonna just stick to our task. Is that 3 nets down for them? 2 nets down? Okay. Let's just Terra Spark then. And now we're going to put... Oh, he's going to attack with this, right? Let's go here. Try and keep the pressure up. They're playing Lottos, interesting. I'm going to Speed Lightning regardless, though. This is going to be a Marnie, so we've saved our horrid rope research situation. We get into a stinker of a hand, though. I mean, I can draw from Dragon Sword, but still. Fine. This hand is fine. It's insta-playables, right? It would be worse if it was just a ton of Regis stuck in the hand. Alright. Looks like they're also playing Yell Horn, so... it's a good thing to see. They're going to get to draw 4. And they, of course, have to attack with this guy because it's damaged so heavily. They don't want me to rope Terra Spark. That would be busted. Okay, that's solid. Alright. Let's do this stuff. Let's play a shoe. That can certainly go. I did recycle an Eleki, but I don't necessarily want it to be that Eleki, right? Because I wouldn't mind Terra Spark play if I found rope. And also I might need to turn attach an Aurora to actually attack here. So I should probably Serena just the Gigas away. That is very bad. Okay. Well, things have opened up for them a little bit. Looks like we're grabbing this. And I'm wisdoming Just a capture to the active. And we'll pass it there. The deck has eventually betrayed me. Now we're going to be behind on the prize race. And I currently have the wrong Regieleki in play for the maneuvers I want to make. I'm really hoping I can get gift energy value. I suppose if they play a rope, I can just give them a rock or a Gigas, and I can just still at least play the game. But looks like they're powering up the Gigas on their side. And they're going to Serena. Yep, throwing away Path sounds fine. Getting rid of Belts sounds good. Alright, we at least get some gift value, because our hand is poor. Oh, our hand is poor. This is so sad. Oh my goodness. Wow, that really is something, huh? I guess I go here. Oh my god. What is this deck? Holy. Okay, I suppose I'm getting back Serena to my hand. And proactively playing a Rod. I suppose I could also just... Oh, but researching away my last Rod and 3 individual Regis sounds horrific. I suppose I could just get back Ultra Ball. Man, so crazy, actually. Truly just woeful. Fine, I'll take the Serena, I guess. It's just Reggie, isn't it? Just Reggie sometimes. You know when I said it was a conventional prize race? What an idiot I was. Thinking this deck could conventionally do what it wants to do every turn. What kind of schmuck thinks that? Jeez. Ugh, this Marnie is a dream come true. Rapscallion is going to net. I had such a ridiculously large window of opportunity to catch up in this prize race. Oh dear. There it is. Well, I guess we'll play one more game. This has been some video. This is like the most Reggie video. It's like actually perfect. I can't even express. This is like fully my Reggie experience for the last 6 months since it's been out. How long's it been out? Has it been longer than 6 months? Feels like a lifetime. What a horrific... Our opponent was so slow. We had so much priority on them, and we just completely got into guff. Alright, next time we're up against Blissey. Blissey, is that you? Yep, it's Blissey. So we're hoping that Blizzard Bind can do some work here, because our damage output isn't all that good into them. Our hand is pretty stellar at this point. It just got better as well. I'm going to start with the Trekking Shoes before thinning any Pokemon out the deck, because we need so many different ones. We don't need Path for this. Alright, that's nice. I can belt this guy. I can very happily get rid of Aurora Twin. I can pretty happily get a Lecky here. There's a Speed Lightning option. I think I just Serena away Twin, honestly. Keep the Speed Lightning as a draw. I guess it would only be a +1 based on how things go. Maybe I speed first. The sequencing is weird though, because it's not that difficult for me to get a Giant Fangs this turn. Let's do this. Not that difficult, he says. Lying. Right, let's do this. Ooh, that's very good. Right, so I definitely like Regigating with this. Because I have the other guy in hand. I don't really like giving up the belt, but hey. Let's do this. Grab a Regi member. Almost said a gang member, but I thought that's not very appropriate. Let's get another... And then I go ahead and say it anyway. Right, let's make another guy. So obviously Rock is good here as well, right? If they don't play Dunce, I can just punch with the impact. Give them the impact. I'm going to see a big Zinnia's Resolve. That's getting some value. We did see that they play Avery's, right? So it's not like a done deal. The tempo is going to get weird in this game, I'm pretty sure. But if I can bung through an early Bliss, that's obviously going to be big. They're going to blast us for 40. Okay. And here comes the big Bliss. Alright. Rod top deck's a bit of a shame, but let's crack on. Well, there is Gigas. And a rope, so I suppose I could go into a Lecky and Terra Spark here. That seems fine. Always nice to get a twin on your Lecky because it has a 2 retreat cost. And I'm imagining the opponent is going to be trying to Avery us this turn. Which is scary, because I obviously don't want to get rid of the belted Regirock, it's so valuable, but I'm actually holding double Quick Ball, so... Surprisingly, I'm not that afraid of Avery this turn. Right, so I have an Ice in the bin. So I get rid of Gigas, and I get rid of Steel, I suppose. And it's a Blissful Boot. So we have triple Reg to recover. I want to go into the Rock rather than the Drago, even though I can lower my hand size, I think, because I don't want to force myself to have to find a net. Let's see, how many rods are down? 1 rod. I'm obviously sus of just missing here, so I think I still research rather than Marnie. But Marnie hitting the last search card is so insanely good for me. I might just speed first. Okay, that's insanely good. Right. Oh no, it's not insanely good because I already had the Drago. But I can get rid of Gift. We grab the Steel because I have the Heavy Ball as an additional out for the last Gigas. I'm pretty sure I want a Marnie, because the only way I can really lose, right, is if they do Avery and I just run out of stuff. Nice, the Heavy Ball coming in clutch. There's your man. There's your wisdom. And there's your big boot. But despite this, the game ain't over, because tempo gets really weird in this matchup. With the Avery, like, depending on how many Averys they have access to. Cape. There's a route KO. So I still have a Drago in the deck, right? So I should attack with Drago. Obviously still have a Rock in the deck as well. I don't mind capturing a Lecky here. And just grab the Rock. I suppose I could lower my hand size enough to... Okay. I was thinking if I could lower my hand size enough to find a net, I could actually KO the Bliss. So yeah, very bizarre video today. We lost a mirror and we beat Blissey, which is like very fringe, and Superior, which just isn't a deck, right? So it's up to you to test out the matchups against the better tier decks in format, because I've played enough Regis to get low enough in the ladder to play what we played today. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It is so on brand for Regis, the video you've just seen. So if anything, that's the best advert I could have given you. I will see you tomorrow for another video. Cheers.